Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. How are you? It's time for a little more Armaf action. Today we are wrapping up my reviews on the new Club de Nuit private key line from Armaf. So I've already done videos on these little beauties right here. This is private key to my dreams and private key to my life. So these ones I have already checked out. You can see videos on those on the channel if you'd like to. Today, we're checking out private key to my success, private key to my love. I don't want you guys hanging out here watching this. So yes, private key to my success, private key to my love. This is part of the new Club de Nuit private key line from Armaf. It's kind of weird because they say Club de Nuit on the boxes, they say Club de Nuit twice on the bottles. They're not exactly Club de Nuit, but they kind of are Club de Nuit. I don't know, man. What are you guys doing? I'll have these linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. I do highly suggest, if you want to pick these up, doing so from a discounter. At Fragrance Buy, they're about 80 bucks. At retail, they're close to double that. So yeah, these are pricey Armaf fragrances when you consider most of the fragrances that they release are more in that like $30 range. Some a little bit higher, some a little bit lower, but you know, close to that. Now, in the previous two videos that I did on this line, I talked about what Armaf is doing here, or trying to do here, or what they say they're trying to do here, which is creating fragrances that are not directly clones, but are instead originals that they've done. Now, the previous two, Key to My Dreams and Key to My Life, they do have similarities to other fragrances out there, certainly. Like, they have some stuff that when you smell them, you'll think, oh yeah, it's a little bit like this, a little bit like that, but I wouldn't say they are direct clones of anything out there. More so heavily inspired by some things, you could say. Yeah. Kind of like you wouldn't probably call Mont Blanc Explorer a clone of Aventus, but it's definitely inspired by Aventus. Kind of like that in a way. Now, one of these, I would say, is pretty much just a clone, man. Like, I don't care how Armaf is trying to slice it, how they're trying to cut it. One of these is definitely, to me, just pretty much clone central. The other one, though, is decently its own thing. I would say actually more so than any other fragrance in this line. Oh, and by the way, these are linked in the description. I don't remember if I said that, but they are down there. And a gentle reminder that my new fragrances, West Loop and Edgewater, have launched. You can find these nationwide in Perfumania and fragrance outlet stores across the United States. And you can find them linked in the description below at Michael Malul's website, where if you do shop there, use the code GENTSENSE to save on your order. And there's a video I've done on those, of course. You can look that up, West Loop, Edgewater, it'll pull it up. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Let's take a look at these presentations really quickly and get into the fragrances themselves. And I'll let you know which of these I like more, which of these is more unique, and which of these is the clone, the imposter. Presentation time. Let's do it. So here we have the front of the box, private key to my success. The boxes do look quite nice compared to some of the other Armaf fragrances. You have Armaf Club de Nuit, private key to my success right there on the front. On one side, you have the Armaf logo and sticker of authenticity, and this is an extrait de parfum. All of these are 100 ml size. On the other side, it says Club de Nuit. Then on the back, Sterling Parfums. On the bottom, your ingredients and your badge code. And then you have a little pull tab up top. Give that a pull, and your fragrance sits right inside here underneath this little slip of paper. All of the fragrances in this line have one of these. Let's read this one. Settling into the gaze amidst the crossfire, a whiff so ambitious, limitless, it aspires. And then here is the bottle. You have your little key on the front, your Club de Nuit crystal, if you want to call it that, in there as well. It says private key to my success, extrait de parfum on the front. It says Armaf on the key as well. Then Club de Nuit around the collar, Club de Nuit on the back of the bottle, Armaf on top of the cap, and a sticker with your badge code on the bottom, and the cap is magnetic. Nice. But don't pick it up by the cap because the magnet is not strong enough to hold this heavy bottle if you try to pick it up like that. Quick look at the other presentation. Pretty much everything the same other than the name and the color. So front of the box, again, everything pretty much the same other than the color and the name. Same as on the sides, the back, and the bottom. Everything here the same. And here's our little poem. Don't know if I'm gonna read this incorrectly. Eating thou heat, setting thou heart on fire, and aura so discreet, can't resist to transpire. Eating thou heat. I'm assuming that's what it meant, not eating thou beat. That wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, eating thou heat, setting thou heart on fire. And here's the bottle. This one has kind of a rose gold tint to it instead of silver. Private key to my life, extrait de parfum right there on the front. Everything else the same. Club de Nuit on the front, Club de Nuit on the back. You know the drill. This magnet is like slightly stronger. Yeah, it feels, yeah, this one's slightly stronger. Still don't pick it up by the cap, but yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna hit you guys with the note breakdown for each one of these, and then we'll start talking about how they smell and if they are worth that price tag. Here are the notes to Club de Nuit, private key to my success. A top of bergamot, chili, and ginger, a mid of lavender and spicy notes, and a base of akigala wood and vetiver. And now the notes to private key to my love. A top of passion fruit, peach, pear, and cassis, a mid of saffron, amberwood, and lily of the valley, and a base of musk, sandalwood, vanilla, and patchouli. Now, some of you savvy boys out there are gonna know which of these is the more clone light, and it is this one right here, this one, that one, that one. Yes, this guy right here, or lady, I don't know. This smells very similar to Tiziana Terenzi's Kirke. It's apparent as soon as you spray the stuff on, that's what's going on here. It also could remind you of like Herba Pura from Zerjov / Suspiro, and you could maybe say there's like an inkling of Baccarat Rouge 540 sprinkled in there as well. Mainly, this is gonna hit you with those Kirke vibes. So it's quite sugary, sweet, fruity, feminine leaning for sure. It's strong. It is strong because both of these are extrait de parfums. All of the fragrances in this line are extrait de parfums, and they perform as such. So that's what you're gonna get from this. Very fruity, sugary, sweet initially. Some florals come in pretty quickly as that dries down. You get a little powder in there, that muskiness comes out. Like I said, maybe a sprinkle of BR 540 vibes in there also, but definitely overshadowed by the Kirke feeling. So I don't care what Armaf is saying. I don't care what they're spitting on this one. This is, of the four, absolutely the closest one to being just a straight up one-to-one clone of something out there. Now you could say it's like a twist or whatever, you know, whatever vernacular you want to put on that, but this is essentially that. Kirke / Herba Pura with some BR 540 underneath. Far and away my least favorite. I don't really care for this one. I'm not gonna wear this one. Quality-wise, it's good. It is good, but if I'm honest, I'm not a real big fan of Herba Pura or Kirke or, you know, any fragrance kind of done in that style. I mean, for me personally to wear them, I should say, and so this is just not my thing. But if you do like fragrances of that style, this is really well done. The quality is nice. It smells pretty similar, just right off the rip. You know, you don't have to wait for it to dry down or anything like that. The blending is well done. The quality of the ingredients does come across much higher than your typical Armaf. It's just, again, I'm not a fan of that style of fragrance, so I'm not really a fan of this. But if you are, you would most likely enjoy it. Now over to this one, which interestingly, I think this might be my favorite one of the bunch, and I think it would appeal to less people than To My Life or To My Dreams. I think both of those more people would like than this one. Now this is the one that they really got most of the big names for. This is the one that Quentin Bish worked on. Actually, if you look at the perfumers that collaborated with Armaf in this lineup, I think this one had like 3 co-creators. And so just by even looking at that, you could probably, you know, deduce that this was gonna be the one that was more of its own thing, because it was Armaf's in-house perfumer with 3 other really well-known perfumers who are not gonna all come on board if, you know, the whole brief is, hey, just copy that thing over there. So it is more its own thing, but where this is going to not work as well for some people is the woodiness that it has. So again, I think this stuff smells really good. When you first spray this one on, you get a really pleasant citrus opening with ginger, but it's not just full bore citrus and citrus only. You've got a nice like pop of fresh spiciness in there, that chili off the top that gives it an interesting kind of nuance. As it dries down, it takes on a little bit of lavender mixing with woods, remnants of the sweetness from the open, but it segs pretty quickly into that dry down, which is where there's a good amount of vetiver and akigala wood, which is where you're getting that kind of Quentin Bish aesthetic going on as you hit the dry down. It's basically a dry woodiness that does come across clean, but it doesn't have any kind of soapiness or anything like that. Just a very masculine, modern, kind of simple, but easy wearing vetiver fragrance with, again, a nice dry woodiness that's laid over top. The issue with that is with the concentration on the Akigala wood and the vetiver, with just kind of remnants of like the spices and lavender from the opening and mid retaining over into the dry down, a lot of people may not go for that, because when a fragrance is, you know, just mainly woodsy, some people, they don't really like it. They'd rather have something that's sweeter, something that has more of a, you know, a kind of a warm, sexy vibe to it. And this is more slightly grown up, woody, clean, but as I said, dry, and comes across maybe a little more classy, a little bit more buttoned up than the other fragrances in this lineup. I think it actually smells awesome. There's a big and clear difference from the opening into the mid, into the dry down. It has clear stages that you can pick up. So each time you wear this, you know, you get kind of a little roller coaster of the fragrance going along. It's not one of those ones that's just, you know, a 5-minute opening and then it settles and then that's it the whole way through, or one of those fragrances that you spray on and it basically just smells like the same thing the whole way through, only it's a little bit weaker. This one does have very clear defined evolution points, if you want to call it that, which nobody calls it that. That's just what came out of my mouth. Yeah, I really enjoy the evolution point of this one into the mid, bro. I think that if we're just talking straight up most easily worn of the whole bunch, it's gonna be To My Dreams and To My Life. Basically, To My Dreams would be more fall, winter. To My Life would be more spring, summer. But this one I really enjoy. A little simple, but well done, well blended, with good quality. And that one just in terms of performance, both of these are extraits de parfum. Both of these last quite a while. They have good projection, good longevity, nothing to complain about whatsoever. In terms of seasons, this one to me is gonna be more spring, fall, you know, kind of neutral weather is when it would be best suited. But you could pull it off just about any time. I mean, as long as you're comfortable wearing woody fragrances, you should be fine. Again, in the opening, it doesn't smell super woodsy, but once it dries down, that's mainly what you're getting. This one, you would wear pretty much the same time as the scents that I compared it to, so pretty much year round. Most people would say daytime or nighttime, and I'd say this one day or evening also. The price point is the sticking point with these, as I mentioned in the previous 2 videos I've done on this line. The quality is higher than your typical Armaf. And I think that's apparent when you spray these on. They smell smoother, they smell better blended, the packaging is a little bit nicer. So you can tell that there is a bump in terms of quality. Triple digits, you know, MSRP for these, I think that's a pretty comfortable no, all the way across the board. I think that at that $80 price point, I kind of waffle on it because they don't smell like they're cheap. When you smell these, they do smell competently done. Like I said, the quality is there, the blending is there. They have names attached to them, well, some of them. So it's like you kind of contrast and compare what else you can get for that price point. I feel like if it was underneath a different name than Armaf, more people would be welcome to spending that money. This one, 80 bucks, I would be comfortable doing. This one is not my style, so I would not. So it really just kind of depends on what you're looking for. I think if the price dropped a little bit more, like say it touched 60 or something, at that point, I would say this one and the other 2 I talked about previously for me would be pretty comfortable yeses. I know it's not a massive difference, 60 to 80, but at 80, you know, it's kind of either way it could go. But I do think that they're good. I think they're well done. Presentation is not gaudy compared to a lot of their other stuff. I think it's interesting. You know, they're trying to do their own thing, but then they're not fully stepping away from what they already know, because there are, for 3 of these 4, I feel like pretty strong similarities that you could draw to other things out there without directly being that thing. So I'm intrigued to see where it goes from here. If this is like a little experiment and they do nothing else, or if they keep fleshing it out, bring in other perfumers, and then do actually start trying to do more stuff that is their own thing. But it becomes a hard sell, I feel like, because everybody associates Armaf with fragrances in the $30 range, like I said earlier, 30, 40 bucks, that are direct clones of other things out there. So it's not so easy to just shed that name and be like, hey guys, look at this line over here. It's $100 and whatever, but we're doing our own thing. It's like, okay, I don't know if I trust that. But yeah, there we go. Here are the last 2 in the Private Key Clubbed In No We line, or Clubbed In No We Private Key, whatever. We'll see if they come out with more down the road, but for now, this is what we've got. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. I'll see you guys later.